Thank you for your cooperation in this matter, Delek.
I do not see the need to continue this investigation, General. The Jaffa have as much as admitted responsibility.
All we know for sure is that some of the men they sent to recruit rebels from Olukun's armies didn't return.
Because they were captured in Anubis' latest offensive. It is the most logical explanation.
According to the Jaffa, a Tok'ra spy was also captured.
We both know that Jaffa intelligence is not always as reliable as it should be.
So you're saying you had no operative in Olukun's ranks?
I am unable to discuss such matters at this present time.
The terms of our alliance dictate full disclosure.
In matters of joint concern.
The security of the Alpha site is a matter of joint concern.
But the disposition of our operatives has no bearing on the security of the Alpha site.
So you claim.
You have allies amongst the other nations of this planet, do you not?
Of course.
Do you always practice full disclosure with them?
We gave you shelter when you had nowhere else to go.
Because you needed us. Just as you brought us Telchak's reanimation device because you needed our help to develop a weapon against Anubis' drones. But you are not always so forthcoming. There is, for example, your program to build and design hybrid ships using Gaul technologies. A program which the Tok'ra feels extremely unwise.
We need those ships for the defense of Earth.
And so you feel it is none of our concern. You see, General, it works both ways. You ask us to trust that your headlong pursuit of technologies that you don't understand poses no threat. But you fail to offer similar consideration when it comes to our policy on using covert operatives.
Let me ask you something. How many Tok'ra from the Alpha site are still unaccounted for?
5.
You know how many people I'm missing? 64. Believe me when I say I'm going to get to the bottom of this with or without your help.
I've been expecting you. No doubt you've spoken to General Hammond.
He says he asked you if we had a spy in Olukun's inner circle.
Yes, he did.
He asked me the same question. Of course, I told him no. Because only the High Council could make a decision like that. And since I'm on the High Council, I would know about it. Wouldn't I? Or is there something you want to tell me?
If you have a concern, you can take it up with the Council yourself.
Who do you think you're talking to?
An interesting question. It seems I am talking to a human host.
Make no mistake, Delek. I am still Selmak. And I was a leader of the Tok'ra before you had even taken a host.
Maybe you've been a leader too long. The Tari are unlike other humans in the galaxy. Their will has not been eroded by thousands of years of slavery. This can be a valuable asset. But it can also make them dangerous, particularly as hosts.
Jacob Carter has had no more influence on me than any other host.
There are those of us who would disagree. You have allowed yourself to get too close to these people, Selmak. Your true loyalties are in question.
You speak for the entire council.
You still have your defenders, although their numbers are diminishing.
So you did meet without me. And you did send an operative.
And if you had known, would you have told General Hammond?
They have a right to know.
We knew you would feel that way. Which is precisely why you were not informed.
We've asked you here together because we need your help to keep the situation at the Beta site from getting out of hand.
I'm not sure what you expect the Tok'ra to do, General. We have suffered a number of unprovoked assaults.
Unprovoked? You refused to help us and thousands of Jaffa died needlessly.
Assassinating Olokon was never an option.
Why not?
We had no way of knowing how many Jaffa would join the rebels. We could have been delivering an entire army into the hands of Anubis.
They deserved the right to choose. Instead, they were slaughtered.
We have been fighting the Goa'uld for thousands of years. You have no right to question our methods.
Well, that's because you were alone for thousands of years. You have allies now.
And what good has it done us? In the few short years we have known the Tok'ra, your tendency to provoke direct confrontation with the Goa'uld has resulted in the deaths of more Tok'ra than in the previous 100 years combined.
I hate to admit it, George, but he's got a point. When a human or a Jaffa dies in battle, more are born to take their place. The same can be said for the Tok'ra.
Our queen Egeria, from whom all Tok'ra have spawned, is dead. Our numbers are dwindling. This alliance may simply be something we cannot afford. First of all, we would like to congratulate you on the recovery of Major Carter. We are glad to know that she is safe.
Thank you.
I have spoken to the High Council with regard to the situation at the Beta site. The Council believes the best solution is for the Tok'ra to leave.
Is that really necessary?
If this partnership were to continue, you would insist on full disclosure of all our covert operations, would you not?
I'm afraid that's non-negotiable.
In that case, we must refuse. Secrecy is our only weapon. It's all we've ever known.
The Jaffa, too, will be leaving.
I don't understand. With the Tok'ra gone.
We are not leaving because of the Tok'ra. We are leaving because it is what we must do. On your base, you dictate the terms. We must consult you before we take any action. There are those among us who feel we simply traded one master for another.
We're not trying to tell you what to do. We simply think it's important to coordinate our efforts.
Unlike the Tauri or the Tok'ra, the Jaffa are still learning what it means to be free. In order to do this, we must have our own bases, train our own leaders, build our own communities. We must do this for ourselves, or it would have no meaning. Only then can we be equal partners in any alliance.
I'm sorry, this is nuts. My friend almost died out there so we could get a weapon capable of stopping Anubis' soldiers. And now we're finally in a position where we can really make a difference, and you want to walk away?
I'm sorry, Dr. Jackson.
This is how it must be.
What are you, mute? This is Sebastian Spence, formerly from First Wave. He's doing a wonderful job. He's playing a character known as Delek. You, the videographer of the behind-the-scenes B-roll, you're Derek. Derek is my friend from the old days, and he used to work at a produce store. So I had to call him at work, and his boss would answer. I'd say, "Hi, this is Peter. I'd like to speak to Derek." "Oh, yeah, Delek. Hold on just a second. Delek, call for you, Delek. Delek, Delek, Delek." So I named this character Delek. Aww. So that's the story of how you became known as Delek.
I like that.